Hello everyone. This is Tobi from the Phuket Meditation Center, and you're listening to the Dharana Meditation Podcast. Let's sit together, calm the busy mind, and explore topics concerning character development, meditative training, and deeper self-knowledge. So let's begin by sitting upright. The head is gently suspended from above. This can be done in any kind of posture. Today we're going to do a bit of a special variation of the practice. So it really doesn't matter whether you are lying down, whether you're sitting, whether you're in a hospital bed or in a temple, whatever the posture, it's fine. However, I'm still going to talk to the audience here mostly, where we are all sitting right now. Let all the soft tissues of your body relax and dropping all the unnecessary tension. Breathing in a way that feels good for you, at least a little bit better. Just finding a way of breathing that feels nice. Let the body, the nervous system, everything gradually settle down and relax. With each out-breath, letting go of a little tiny bit of unnecessary attention. Maybe you're holding tension in your forehead, in your jaws, in your eyes. Let all that become a little bit more soft as you breathe out. Allow your body to show you, to naturally guide your attention to the places where you're holding unnecessary tension. And it's very likely to be the case that you're incredibly distracted, that your attention is all over the place, that the attention lies to go to the problems, it lies to go to the pain points and complain or feel sorry about itself. I'm in so much pain. If you notice that this is the case, just come back to the breath, just one single breath, just this in-breath. Allow your awareness to expand a little, feeling the entire body as you breathe in. Not just that tiny spot. And as you're breathing out, just a little bit more soft. And then let yourself be distracted again. That's perfectly okay. Every now and then you have another mindful breath. Whenever you remember. Just one. With each in-breath, feeling the entire body, expanding your awareness. And with each mindful out-breath, softening a little bit, releasing a little bit. Just one mindful breath. Every now and then. And noticing that when you're breathing out and you're softening a bit, and it feels better. Maybe just really slightly, not at all that much, but still better. Notice that. Learn to gradually appreciate every time you feel a little bit better. Let that be an indication that you're moving in the right direction. Breathing in, feeling. Breathing out, softening. And appreciating a little improvement. And as you are giving priority to your breathing, to releasing, the mind will slowly begin to gather around your breath. Give this process time. Don't push your mind. It's just like attracting wild, beautiful deer in the forest by just sitting down there and holding food. It will take time for the deer to come and approach you and eat. But if you stay calm and patient, it'll gradually come and approach you. In the same way, your mind is quite shy. It doesn't like to be pushed. It likes freedom. And it likes to relax. Now we let go of all doing, all trying. And just leave your mind and your body as it is. Nothing to change, nothing to control, nothing to focus on even. Just rest without any focus. Allow whatever happens to happen. Just giving yourself space to be as you are. Give that moment space to be as it is. Notice how thoughts arise and pass by themselves, how sensations change by themselves. And how there is this same kind of aliveness within the soundscape around you. Everything is alive, moving, changing. Vibrating. And it doesn't matter whether you're doing something or not. The world and life just keep vibrating as they do. Just let go and surrender to this rhythm of life. There's nothing to do. The deeper you come into presence, into your being, the more you will give up and surrender. Giving up fear, giving up hope. Just rest in life itself. Just for now. Rest. Give up the future, give up the past. Life is now. If you like, you can either just continue to rest within the aliveness of your presence, or you can slowly come back and open your eyes, gently stretch a little bit. Good morning, everyone. Today, I have received a request from a friend who's currently going through a very dark, very difficult period of his life. He struggles with a tremendous amount of pain, fear of loss of his family, of his life, of everything he knows and is attached to. There's a lot of worrying, there's a lot of despair, lots of pain throughout the entire day. Simultaneously, there's a lot of hope as well. So he wants to get better. He wants to stand on his legs again. He wants to give his wife a hug again and so on. And imagine if you were in this situation where you're completely disabled by a disease. You can't properly sit alone. You can't get up alone. You need help for every little thing. And people around you, they struggle day and night to try to help you. People that you love, people you care for, that you wouldn't want to see just continuously worried about you. And Benjamin is not alone in this. You know, there's millions of people who are in this situation. And also us will be in that situation at some point. We tend to forget that. We tend to forget that we will hit a time of our life when there will be severe illness, severe pain, difficulties, loss of all the things we are attached to, all the things that we are worried about. And so the question is centered around panic attacks, how to deal with panic attacks, how to handle panic attacks, great fear. So first of all, I think the central issue, the central problem that comes up with these bigger problems that we experience in life is fear. So the core topic of the question is fear. Not just in the expression of a panic attack, but in the expression of actually hope as well. Hope being the flip side of fear, just like the flip side of a coin. If I have hope, it means I have fear. If I have fear, it means I have hope. We wouldn't have any fear if we didn't have hope. We wouldn't have any hope if we didn't have fear. It's really important to understand this first. Fear is a very pervasive state of mind. That means it pervades our entire beingness if we are not aware, if we're not conscious, if we don't have a resting place, a refuge within our being, then fear will pervade most of our activities, most of our actions. And how do you know that? That even right now we are ruled and governed by fear. You can understand that by its signs, by its symptoms, which is constantly thinking about the future and the past. Seeking to escape this moment, seeking to control yourself, your mind, your life, your surrounding, your health, your everything. What is it that seeks to be in charge of everything? It is fear. I want to be in control of myself. I want to be in control of my future. I want to be in control of my health and my life and my this and my that. Why? Because I'm very afraid of losing that control, because then Anything could happen to me. So naturally, the mind will then tend to worry a lot. It will tend to think a lot about the next moment, the next minute, the next 10 minutes, the next hour, the next day, month, year. Will I still be there? Will I be okay? Will everything be okay? In other words, most of us are governed by this pattern of trying to avoid future suffering. So the mind is continuously focused on trying to avoid future pain, future difficulties and hardships and suffering. So it tries to come up with strategies. How do I do this? How will I make sure that I won't suffer in the future? I think we can all boil this down to one single point. Peace, rest, can never be found in the future or in the past. I think this is it for us. Really, what we all seek is a refuge, shelter, peace. A place where you know that you will be fine, where you know that you will be okay. If you had such a place, you wouldn't worry at all. You wouldn't worry about losing your home if you had another home. You wouldn't worry about losing money if you had a huge bank account somewhere else. Then losing a bit of money is not a problem. I still have money elsewhere. It's what a lot of super rich people in this world do. They have multiple accounts in multiple currencies, multiple places. Because if one breaks down, they still have plenty other accounts. That is a clever strategy. So what if our body breaks down? What if our health, our comfort, our things that we rely on, our friends, family, and so on, what if all those things that you lean on break down? Where is your refuge then? What are you holding on then when everything that you knew and everything that you like and depend on breaks down, when the rock is pulled underneath your feet? What are you holding on to? And if you have nothing to hold on to, of course you are afraid. Of course there is fear. Of course there is hope and worries and so on, because we have nothing to hold on. We lose everything. For most of us, if we lose our body, if we lose our mind, if we lose our lifestyle, we lose a majority of things that we depend on. Hence, we are very worried about losing those things. We have nothing else. Around New Year, I gave this example of the sandcastle, building a sandcastle on the beach, and being incredibly obsessed with this sandcastle. It's like your home. You're totally reliant upon this sandcastle. And everybody on that beach, they're all very focused on building that perfect sandcastle, trying to make sure it will be just right, just good, just perfect, so they can live in it. And while we are so focused on building this sandcastle, we completely ignore the distance where we can see that the tides are rolling in. And that our little sandcastle is bound to be flushed away. There is no way that it won't be flushed away. It doesn't matter how much you hope or fear. It will be dragged into the floods. No matter if you are happy or sad, if you are afraid or confident or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's nature. Things that are destined to pass will pass. This is really important to understand. But of course, we're very worried because the sandcastle is the only thing we have been relying upon for now. That's it. There's nothing else. So if that sandcastle is gone, you are gone, because you are attached to that sandcastle. So the strategy that I come up with is
based on what you already want. You want to be safe. You want to have a nice house to live in, to be okay in, to be free from worries. That's what we all seek. I'm just saying, well, if you want to be safe, perhaps you should not focus all your attention and energy on the sandcastle. The sandcastle here meaning your body and your mind, your environment, your circumstances. Perhaps you need to focus on something else that is more reliable, that can actually grant you peace, that can actually grant you safety and respite, no matter the circumstance. So how do we get there? How do we find a place that is utterly safe, utterly undisturbed, that is independent from circumstance? Well, obviously, we can't find it in the future or the past. It won't be there. You can't find it in the distance either. It's not 10 meters away from you or 5 centimeters. There's no distance, there is no time. The only place where you are truly safe and at ease is within your being, not within your doing. So you want to make a shift. And that shift is trained and practiced through the spiritual path, through meditation practices and so forth. You are moving away from a broad circle of outward attention. Outward here also includes your body. Paying attention to your body, paying attention to your mind, your thoughts, your hopes, your fears. We have to withdraw the attention from those uncertain things, unreliable things, and direct it back to the being itself. So this is the first strategy that you want to work on while you're doing relatively fine. Because when the fire is burning, when you're in massive pain, when everything is really difficult, trust me, you won't be able to just rest in your being. Unless you have plenty of previous training. So you can then seek refuge in just beingness and be unaffected by whatever goes on in your body and your mind at that moment. But that's very high level. How do we approach that? You need something to anchor yourself when things get ugly, when things get bad, when the suffering hits, when you're in pain. You need something to rely on during that time, during that period. But before even that, we need some basic strategies for our lifestyle when things are really bad, which will happen to all of us and has happened to all of us in the past as well. Things have gotten bad. So one is absolutely stop complaining. That's the first rule. Stop it. Stop complaining. I know it's really tempting, and I know we get a lot of attention and we get a lot of compassion from other people when we complain to them. But it's not the right kind of attention that we will be getting, because both ourselves and others around us will continuously confirm, oh, poor you, poor me. We have to snap out of the consistent complaining habit. It doesn't help. It doesn't add any benefit, neither to yourself or others. You don't want people to look at you with pity. You want them to look at you inspired. Here is my plan for when I am in that exact same situation. When pain is ravaging my body, when I'm absolutely uncomfortable, when everything goes down the drain, I want to be an inspiration to other people. I want to show them that it's possible to go through this time with my head held high, with my spirit intact. That is my plan. This is what I'm aiming for. This is what I'm training myself to do. How do I train it? When everything goes wrong in my life, little tiny things that go wrong in our lives every day. We all have it. Whether you're very sick or not, things go wrong. Stop complaining. Make that a rule. There's a monastery in Thailand, monastery of Luang Putun, and there was a rule to enter that monastery. If you wanted to be in this monastery and stay in this monastery, you weren't allowed to complain. It was one of the rules there. No complaining. That's a good rule. So whether you get really, really sick or things go really, really bad, you could not complain about it because it's useless. That does not mean you cannot ask for help. In fact, we will all have to ask for help at some point. But don't do it while complaining. If you can, train yourself in this basic rule first. Abandon complaining. 1. The second rule is be present. Prioritize small, tiny steps. Focus on what you can do now. And if your doing is as basic and small as releasing a tiny bit of tension from your shoulders that is unnecessary, that is an energy sucker, you're wasting your energy holding up that tension in your shoulder, or that tension in your forehead, or that tension in your neck, drop it. Now, you made one good step right now. That's good. Keep doing more of those. Focus on what you can do now. Don't focus on things that are uncertain. Be present, especially in really, really difficult situations. When things are really difficult, train yourself to think in small steps. No big plans, no big hopes. What can I do right now to make my situation a little bit better? Can I release some of the tension? Can I release some of my negative thoughts? Can I transform them? Not only for your own sake, but for those who are watching you, who seek inspiration. So many people are watching us when we're sick. And they know they will be up for that later. So they have hope, they try to see inspiring stories. It's why we love watching movies, why we love reading books, because we want to find out how do people deal with problems that can act as an example for myself, that when I'm in that situation, I can deal more creatively with it. Perhaps it's just shifting from poor me, to how can I be a little bit more inspiring both to myself and others right now? There's so many people in this world who have it much worse. Think about them. There's always worse, isn't there? You can always have it worse. And in fact, it's not only that it's a possibility, it's actually people are having it worse right now. Think about that, not in order to put yourself down. Think about it in order to lift yourself up. For their sake, may I go through my hardship, may I carry my cross to inspire those who are about to carry theirs, or who are carrying theirs. So stepping from the role of the victim to the role of a leader. That is so crucial, changing the mindset in whichever tiny little way you can. And I do get it, and I know from personal experience, sometimes life is just brutally hard. It's in your face. You have no respite. You can't go left. You can't go right. Everything is burning. Everything is hurting like hell. But still, we can make tiny little decisions that make it a little bit better. Such as the decision not to complain, or the decision to say thank you to the nurse, or whatever it is. Like my mom, when she died, she passed away with a relatively short diagnosis. From diagnosis cancer to death was about 3 months for her. And at first it was like unbearable to her. She wanted to move. She had all these plans to set up a new life in Ireland. She already got the place. All her belongings were in trucks moving to Ireland. She was so happy to go there. She had her new love. She found a new boyfriend there. Imagine that. And then the diagnosis, boom, cancer. Need to go hospital. Need to abandon everything. She didn't even have a place to stay. Nothing. She kind of had to live as an emergency with one of her friends. So it's very important to understand the change that she went through after she accepted her situation and she surrendered and she relaxed. She became very grateful. Every little goodness that was done to her, she immediately voiced that. Instead of complaining, she would voice continuously what she was grateful for. That's a very good practice. It makes things a little bit better, a little bit more bearable. Focus on these little things. This is just mindset stuff. It isn't yet the classic practice that you do when the panic attack hits. I know that. But still, it's so vital. It's so important. And it will really feed into the practice that you're doing when you're training your mind to be more present, to be more accepting, to be more released, relaxed, just as if life was actually a dream. You'd be more lighthearted if you knew that. It's just a dream. Relax. Even if things are bad, it isn't that bad anymore if you knew that life was a dream. That's another mindset change. You don't regard life and the body and things as so heavy anymore. They're more transparent, more soft, more easeful. So you can relax a bit more, like a tiny bit. I'm always talking just about tiny little bits more. Not massive improvement. Forget massive improvement. Massive improvement consists of a lot of tiny improvements. That's what a massive improvement is. Small, tiny steps that are just consistently going into the right direction. All right, so what do we have so far? Well, don't complain. Think of a role of yourself as being somebody that inspires others rather than somebody that is pitied by others. You change everything, every possible thing you can. Put up posters on your wall that inspire you, that uplift you. Read things. Read about stories, how people went through incredible hardships and how they made it out of it. Compare them to yourself. You can be like them. You're a human being. They've been human beings. Do anything you can to shift your thoughts. Your thoughts, your mind is the captain of the body. It determines the direction you're going in. Your body doesn't. That's good news. Your body does not determine who you become. Your mind does. So make use of that mind as much as you can. As much as you can. Okay, now to the panic attack. When it actually hits, what to do? You need to have some refuge, some anchor. So what I recommend is your breathing. Train yourself, also throughout the day, to rest your mind on the breathing. Become familiar with your breath. Make friends with your breath. Because during a panic attack, it's your breath that's going to catch you. It's with your breath that you can regulate your nervous system. It's with your breath that you can regulate the heartbeat. And I know while you're having a panic attack, your mind drags your attention to, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You're going down the drain, you're going down the drain. Everything's bad. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. That's panic attack. Your mind wants to drag you into that, into that panic, into those fearful thoughts. What's happening to me? Oh my God, what's happening to me? It's not important what's happening to you, but what you do is important. Place your attention on the breath. Give up the tempting call of your mind that says something is happening to you. It's not good. It's not good. Give up listening to that. Point your attention to the breath. You got to develop this kind of feeling of disregarding the call of your panic attacks. Yes, I know there's panic in my body. Yes, I know the mind is freaking out right now. And I'm going to stay with the breath regardless. I surrender. I give up. If the panic needs to take me away then. I'm going to stay with the breath. I'm not going to budge from my breathing. So you have to come back to just one breath. Just take one good in-breath. Good. Now you'll be distracted. The panic is calling you again. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And another nice in-breath. Stretch it a little. Make it long. If you like, you can count even. Count your in-breath to the count of, let's say, 4 or 5. Stretch it out. Force yourself to stay with it as you breathe in. As you're getting a little bit better, you can do what we call the 4-7-8 breath. Breathe in to the count of 4. Then hold your breath to the count of 7. And then breathe out to the count of 8. Then breathe in again to the count of 4. Hold to the count of 7. Out to the count of breath. Out to the count of 8. Yes? So you have this 4-7-8 breath is a very, very legit, good method to use during panic attacks. You have to understand that while your nervous system is freaking out, it's in fight or flight mode, you won't anyways make any good decisions in that moment. So you might as well just stubbornly come to the breath. And that will work with training. You have to do this while you're not having a panic attack. That's one thing. Train this method. Get good at it. Do it a lot during the day, especially if you're in a hospital bed or you're taken care of at home or something like this, and you have plenty of time. Familiarize yourself staying with the breath. Not only is it good for your body and mind, it will also support the healing processes of the body. If you're more present, you're by definition losing less energy to worry and hope and fear and so on, or to holding tension in your body. So it allows you to become more relaxed, have more resources available to engage in healing. So this is basically all that has to do with doing. All right, first point, to summarize, change your mindset and lifestyle towards the positive. Lean towards what's good. Stay away from what's bad, especially complaining if you can. Second, train yourself in breathing exercises. Be with your breath throughout the day and in special occasional sessions throughout the day. Stay away from everything that sucks up your energy. Presence gives you energy. Why? Because you're connecting with life. Life is what heals you, not yourself. If you can connect to life and rest in the aliveness of this moment, you greatly support healing processes of the body. But no need to hope. Just rest, because it's nice to rest in aliveness and gradually get better with that. There's more to this, of course. And third, that is resting in presence. Second was the breath. Third is rest. Don't do anything. Stop resisting. Stop pursuing. Rest in your being. That's the true refuge. And I get it, if you don't have much training in that, it's not so intuitive to just stop doing. It's easier said than done, I get it. But with consistent training, stepping into presence over and over again, discovering your being, things will gradually get better. There is also a recommendation. I highly recommend reading simple, easily understood, practical books, such as The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. It's a very nice little book that can help you discover presence and go deeper into it. It's very well written. It's not complex, it doesn't use jargon, it's just practical. Something to do for yourself now. Also, a very good author that I highly recommend reading is Ajahn Sumedho. His books, The Sound of Silence and so on, they really delve deeply into being at peace with the way it is, learning how to become peaceful with life and all its manifestations, including illness and death, to learn to be at peace with the truth of our being. Ajahn Sumedho, very, very good for that. And if you're really interested in learning meditation on a more deep kind of trajectory, if you really want to take this serious and go deeper into it, which I highly recommend, of course, then read Mindfulness, Bliss, and Beyond by Ajahn Brahm. It's a fantastic book. It's almost like a Bible for meditators, I would say. It's a super good manual that teaches you step by step how to build your practice. Fantastic little book. So these 3 books I highly recommend reading, and keep your spirit up like a flame that you're protecting in a storm. You have that light, your spirit, your being, your aliveness, your role as somebody that inspires other beings around you. You must keep that light going. It's really important. And that implies to give up hope and fear, because they're one. Don't buy into this idea that you got to have hope to move somewhere else so you can be happy. Instead, find what you're really looking for here and now, because it isn't elsewhere. Life is not in the future. It's not in the past. Stop hoping for life. Discover it instead. It's right here. It's right here. You're missing it if you're looking for a future moment. Okay? Having said all that, and having spoken quite intensely today about these things, I do get how difficult life can be and how harsh it is when you're in severe pain. Yes? I'm quite familiar with severe pain. I've been through very difficult conditions in my own life. So I think I do have a bit of qualification to talk about these difficulties and how to overcome them. And it is not my wish to put you down, even though I'm talking quite strongly today. It's my wish to raise you up and to inspire you and to hopefully, hopefully, saying that with tongue-in-cheek, help you a little bit to focus on what is good for you instead of what pulls you down. Yes? All right. But that's all that comes to mind for this. I hope it was helpful. Do you have any questions? Yes?
How would you react if you're late for a train? You don't really have time to stop and breathe. You have to run and catch a train.
Yes.
So how would you find this anchor to stop stressing out about the train you might miss if you don't run fast enough?
Don't depend your happiness on getting the train. Just run and get it. If you don't get it, nice. Whatever. Get another one. Complaining doesn't help. And fear doesn't help. If you're supposed to get the train, you'll get it. If you're not supposed to get it, you won't get it. Doesn't matter how much you stress out about it, right? That's the attitude. Like, the stress doesn't make it different. The running might make it different. So run. You're still trying to get it. I'm not saying, it's not important getting the train, just sit down and have a cup of coffee somewhere. But that thought, will I reach it or will I not? And if I don't reach it, I'm going to be terribly unhappy and life is going to be really bad, that thought is unnecessary. Sometimes I think the Christians, at least the Gnostic practitioners, or those who are tending a bit more towards the mystical Gnostic tradition of Christianity, they have it really good because they just have faith that everything's okay. That God's got this plan. If I'm supposed to get the train, I'll get it. If I'm not supposed to get the train, I won't be getting it. So they trust in something bigger than themselves. That's quite good. That's very skillful. And yes, there is something bigger than yourself. It's called universal intelligence. It's the same thing that's beating your heart, that makes you breathe, that converts oxygen to carbon dioxide and so on. That thing that makes the universe run just the way it does is not you, right? Fortunately not. It's something much more intelligent, So I trust that. I surrender. That's a very important thing as well in panic attacks. If you do have any faith, let me add that to it actually. If you do have any faith in God, if you have faith in the divine, if you have faith in your being, the I am, connect with that and give up your own agenda. Stop fighting. Relax. That thing. You will catch the train or not, doesn't matter. Relax anyways. You're a relaxed runner. Like that, There's a fine line. A lot of people mistake that they confuse this thing that surrendering means not doing anything. That's wrong. Surrender doesn't mean you become inactive. Surrender means that you are present in this moment and you're not seeking to have it your way. Instead, you become more attentive. You start to listen. What is required of me right now? Perhaps you just need to rest. But you're ignoring that little advice that you're given by your own heart in this moment because you have an agenda. And it's that agenda that stresses us out, that uses up a lot of energy. If things get rough, you're really in a good place if you have religion. That's the point of it. If you have faith in God, if you have faith in the Buddha mind, if you have faith in something that's greater than yourself, greater than the body, greater than this world, you're in a very good position. If all you have is just stuff, of course you're scared. And then you need to find replacement gods, such as money or fame or good looks or whatever. You then worship Instagram and Facebook. We will replace. We want to worship something that's greater than ourselves, so we worship large corporations. If we don't have God anymore, if God is dead in our society, well, we will worship something, maybe the government, maybe large corporations. Maybe the military, whatever. Some ideology maybe. So choose what you're going to worship, because you will worship something. And it better be good for you and others. All right? Okay, I think that's enough for today. Thank you very much for coming. Have a good time.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and had a meaningful time. For more information and upcoming events, head over to our website at phuket-meditation.com. Thank you very much for listening and have a wonderful day.